them, so he'll shoot 2 right here.
You know, the NBA continues to get better at analyzing data and charting game results. Shouldn't surprise you that players shoot better off the catch than they do off the dribble. It's a big reason. Passing and ball movement tends to be more effective than one-on-one isolation play.
Outside Robinson. McCollum with the ball. 5 on the clock. The 8-footer tries again. And Robinson with the layup.
You know, that putback's about as easy as it's going to get. You have to put a body on someone down there.
Well, no box out. That's the result you get right there.
Fast break. Here come the Trailblazers. And the dunk by Wright.
Now that is a quick bucket. Pretty good in transition.
That's right. That's exactly right. He loves when he gets the chance to get out and run. That's when he's at his best.
And Clark, you mentioned the value of passing over isolation basketball. The term has even arisen for that one-man approach. They call it, Steve, hero ball.
Yeah, I think Doc Rivers may have made up that phrase. I love it. It's so true. You can't win with hero ball. You really have to share the basketball. The game is meant to be played with 5 players moving, passing, cutting, and sharing the ball, creating good shots for each other.
There's a screen by Robinson. Blake kicks to Robinson. Over to the left wing. Puts up a 3, and Blake is good for 3.
They are killing them with that three-point shot here in the second half.
Well, the defense fully stretched out trying to stop that shot and still not able to get it done.
Down it goes. Nice one there from Poole.
The defense left him just a little window to get through, and he just ducked in for the layup. Terrific job.
Now here's McCollum. Out to the right wing. Right outside. Takes the 3. Yes, and it's Blake picking up the assist.
These defenders had better start closing out on those shooters.
Yeah, that's twice in a row now where they've done exactly the opposite and backed off.
And a foul on the shot. He'll go to the stripe for 2. They get Steve Blake.
You know, the league seems pretty serious about creating more parity between the teams. A big sign of that was the last CBA, where the NBA more than tripled the amount of revenue sharing between the big market and the small market teams. The little guys, I think, are in a much better position now than they were a few years ago.
And most NBA teams now can turn a profit with the revenue sharing and still field a competitive team.
And I think that's really important, that you try to balance it out between the large market teams and the smaller market teams. Clearly, revenue creation is different when you're in a bigger market versus a smaller one. So with the tougher luxury tax and revenue sharing, the size of your market is a little bit mitigated. And so therefore, everybody has a better chance to be competitive.
How about that? Gets it off right in the face of the big fella. Quick release.
And operating on the perimeter like that negates some of the height disadvantage, too.
Korver off the pick from Poole. And once again off the mark by Atlanta.
They've shown effort and aggression in the paint right from the tip. Their rebounding edge is impressive.
And I'll tell you what, they've turned a lot of those rebounds into points at the other
Lopez right side. He feeds it to McCollum. Back to Lopez. He kicks it to McCollum. So the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there.
Really an extraordinary game for McCollum. He has 12 points and 5 assists. Boy, he's been a big contributor in this one.
Well, this isn't something they're going to see consistently from him, but they are enjoying his performance today. I think C.J. McCollum has all the makings of an outstanding combo guard. 6'4", great shooter, capable ball handler. He should be able to play either guard position.
And there's the foul on the shot. He'll go to the line for 2. And what you like about McCollum, he plays bigger, I think, than his height listed.
You know, during his college career at Lehigh, he averaged 6 rebounds a game and competed well defensively against bigger guards. So he's got a little chip that he plays with, which I like.
Kyle Korver really keeps his defender busy. He's great at running off screens, and that's where he gets a lot of his shots. And even when he doesn't get the ball, he occupies the defense, which is so important for his team.
Here's the screen. Blake with it, now guarded by Poole. Right, left side. The pick gave him all the room he needed, and he knocks down the J. And Korver really trains so that he can sustain that energy, moving off the ball.
That's one of the more impressive things about it. Not only his quick release, but the work he does prior to getting loose for those shots. It takes an awful lot of endurance, stamina, and mental toughness, Kevin.
And there's the call on Antic. That's his first foul. Portland's gone 2 of 3 in the fourth quarter from long range. Good shooting so far. Here's Blake, guarded by Poole. Blake passes to McCollum. And there's the feed to Freeland. And here is Blake. Puts it up from 15. Off the left rim and out. Pass to Korver. Beyond the arc. That one goes. Count. Korver's got 6 points in the quarter.
Well, you can't leave him alone, especially from long range.
Here's Blake. Lopez dishes to McCollum. Wright sets a screen for McCollum. Right side. Out of bounds, Atlanta takes possession.
Boy, did they ever make a mess. Out of that one, a terrible turnover.
The Hawks have gone 3 of 8 here in the fourth quarter. Here's Mack. Foul called that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here.
Well, guys, you talk about the growth of the game internationally, but different time zones can make it a challenge for other countries to enjoy the game live. You look at China, for instance, it's a growing market for the game, but they're 12 hours ahead of East Coast time and 15 hours ahead. of the West Coast. But if you're a junkie for hoops, I guess you'll adjust to the time zones.
Pass to Korver. Kicks it to Mack. Fires for three, and that one's good.
That's a weapon they've been allowed to use at will today, Steve.
I'll say the defense has been ineffective trying to run shooters off that three-point line.
Lopez a screen. Out to the right wing. And Wright kicks to Freeland. Back to Wright. The dish to Freeland. Shot clock at 6. Portland moving the ball over. And the basket by Blake.
Nice pass. That one was right on target.
The Hawks have gotten just under 45% of their attempts to drop in the fourth. 4 of 9. Ontic passes to Payne. And 2 free throws coming up as he misses that one. Drawing the whistle and a lot of contact there. And a breakdown here, guys. The hustle stats for the Trailblazers.
Their activity at the defensive.
On the break tonight as well and scored a lot of baskets in transition.
Scotty's checked in for the Hawks. Ken Bazemore comes in for Kyle Korver. And Portland with a change here, too. Robinson's checked in. Lopez a screen. Clock at 4. To the wing on the left. Tries a 3. Robinson misses. Atlanta's gotten off 4 3-pointers in the final quarter, and 2 of them have fallen. Here's Bazemore, and the officials whistle a foul on the shot. The bucket's good. He'll go to the line.
Looking at the game Bazemore's been having, he has 9 points, and also those active hands of his have led to a pair of steals.
Yeah, Clark, he's had a great presence defensively. He's thrown off their rhythm on several occasions. Maybe a low percentage pass, but it still nearly got through.
I like it, though. I mean, it's an aggressive play. Heads up defending to deflect it away.
Here's Robinson. And again, it's Portland converting.
He had a whole lot of space to get that shot off.
Yeah, I don't think the defender did a good job there of getting over the top of the screen.
And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot.
Well, jersey advertising, an idea that had been bandied about for a long while. Last season, in lieu of that, the league tested out advertising on the court apron for the first time, as well as a small ad on the top of the backboards. So the league, of course, always looking for new revenue streams.
And Steve, you mentioned the apron advertising. It's only being allowed for locally broadcast games.
And I think that makes sense, Kevin. Viewers probably see it more than they would see stitching on a player's jersey, and I think keeping the ads off the court and the players is a good line to draw.
Here's McCollum. And fouled hard that time. He'll get to the line and shoot 2.
He's done a much better job of getting to the line here. Aggressively taking it inside and not shying away from contact. I thought he was settling a bit in the first.
And so he's able to get 1 of 2. For Atlanta, they've gone 5 of 10, 50% from the field. Bazemore passes to Poole. Feeds it to Mack. Here's Bazemore. Off target from outside.
Very little success for him behind the arc today. Just 1 3-pointer in the first half and still none in the second.
Blake dishes to Lopez. And the pass to McCollum. Wright sets a screen for McCollum. Pulls up on the elbow, and he hits the jump shot. McCollum's got 6 here in this quarter.
That's a nice job of getting the ball in the paint and burying the shot. That's exactly how it's done.
Mack, good.
Well, he certainly isn't the one to blame for them being in the hole. He's been on the money with his game.
Portland in total control. Lopez a screen. 1:51 left in the fourth. They set the pick. Here's Blake. Loses his man off the screen and lays it up and in.
Really hard to find fault with anything he's doing this quarter, at least at the offensive end.
Shoots from the high post. Again, the Hawks score. Here's Blake.
4-2.
There's 1:34 left in the fourth quarter. Robinson sets a screen for Wright. There's a screen by Robinson. Robinson left side. 5 to shoot. Pass to Blake. And the call will be against Steve Blake. That'll be his second foul of the game.
Analytics has become a huge part of the NBA, and one element of that jumps out at me is basically the cameras that track every movement of every player and can provide info on when exactly a player gets tired to how much of their time on the floor they are actually running instead of standing around.
Chris Kamen's checked in for Portland.
And guys, with this one winding down, it's obvious to everyone who's watched it. I mean, just a total mismatch in a true show of strength for the Trailblazers.
You're right, Steve. It was a standout performance across the board. They were just, at times, Clark seemed toying with it.
Yeah, like watching a cat play with a mouse, Kevin, quite honestly. They were able to do more or less, whatever they wanted to do.
And so checking out their record tonight, that'll mark win number 32 overall.
Boy, I like the way they responded and made adjustments from their first meeting this year, which they lost, and came out tonight with a mission to finish off with a 1-1 season record against the Hawks.
And you have to look back at this and see what a huge game it's been for Lillard. It was the kind of game for him that all scorers dream of, where the basket just seems to be incredibly wide.
It's tipped. Here's Bazemore. Again, the Hawks good for two.
Well, their offense has kicked into gear, but seems to have arrived a little bit too late.
And as a coach, that can really be frustrating. I mean, your guys were stumbling along for most of the game, and now, when it's basically over, they finally decide to come alive.
About 7 seconds separating the shot and game clocks. Here's Blake. He's guarded by Poole. Here's Wright. Dishes it to Blake. He kicks to McCollum. And so Portland takes this one, but by a big margin. Some days, Clark, everything goes right for a team, and they just had one of those games.
Yeah, it certainly was. I mean, these guys played a great all-around basketball game here.
And now we'll send it down to Doris Burke, who's standing by courtside.
Well, Marcus, this is certainly a good win. What was the most important element to the team in a game like this one?
Playing with energy. I think guys play with energy. I think guys play with passion tonight. And we just got, just win games right now.
Guys, they're all talented, but passion's such a crucial aspect to teams winning. Over to you.
Thank you, Doris. So that'll do it for now. For Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and Doris Burke, this is Kevin Harlan. Thanks for joining us for this presentation of the NBA on 2K Sports. We'll see you next time.
UGLY. Man, ugly doesn't even begin to describe what happened out there.
What would you call it?
Sorry, pathetic, garbage, embarrassing.
Just gotta let it go. Get back at it tomorrow. Study some film, see what we did wrong, hit the weight room, get some treatment, make up for the next time out.
Good idea. The quicker we get back out there, the quicker we can leave this nightmare behind us. Let's hit it.
Welcome, everyone, to another presentation of the NBA on 2K Sports. Along with Steve Kerr and Clark Kellogg, this is Kevin Harlan. It's all about the Eastern Conference. That's where the action is today as the Atlanta Hawks get ready to battle. Their last encounter with the Hawks leading.
You know, the Sixers have really undergone a complete reversal in recent years from a team with a very old-school, traditional front office to a team that's now focused on the science and analytics of winning basketball. And quite honestly, guys, we're seeing more and more teams embrace the analytics side of things.
Bazemore misses. Primetime's checked in for FT. And now Doris Burke. As an update from the sidelines.
Hi, guys. I had a chance to find out what Mike Budenholzer was discussing with his guys. Horford was the focus of the discussion, and he wants their offense to run through him. That may be a strategy that comes as a little bit of a surprise, but Coach is showing a lot of confidence in his ability to produce an outstanding effort today. He also told them that he wants to see multiple passes on every possession. He said that was the key to getting the best shot each time down. It's still very early in this game, so there's plenty of time for those changes to take effect, Kevin.
Thanks a lot, Doris. Bazemore off a pick from Poole. Horford trying to free himself up. Scott, good. And the Hawks lead by 1.
So the pick worked really well there. Nice job taking it right to the 10 for the layup.
Thompson passes to Richardson. Dishes it to Mba Amute. Back to Richardson. And count the basket. He was fouled, and he's going to the line for one more.
Exceptional play to take the bump and still get it up and down.
Yeah, way to stay with it and look to finish the play right there.
Atlanta's gone 2 of 5 from three-point land here in the first quarter. Sefolosha off a pick from Poole. Nice ball movement here by Atlanta. Horford. And it's Philadelphia with the rebound. Coming off that loss against the Timberwolves.
And it wasn't just bad shoots, though. The offense wasn't clicking. No ball movement. Very stagnant performance.
Yeah, I agree. The reason for that, I think, was their movement away from the ball. Not very crisp.
Shot clock at 5. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up and 2 shots coming up.
Hollis Thompson is a slender 6'8" swing man out of Georgetown. And, you know, with his quickness and athleticism, I think he's got the ability to defend 2s and 3s and maybe, in time, point guard.
And Hollis Thompson with good leaping ability. A nice finisher, Steve, in transition.
Yeah, you know, in the half court, more comfortable moving off the ball for jump shots. But as he develops his ball handling, I think he has a chance to really take advantage of his length and athleticism.
And he sinks the second.
They find themselves down here in the first, and a lot of that can be attributed to the early foul trouble.
Prime time, the pass to Sefolosha. They set the pick. Sefolosha off a pick from Poole. Horford with it. Now defended by Embiid. And it's out of bounds to the Hawks as Atlanta retains possession.